you were high and right. High and left. Impact.
Alright, let's see what old Johnson will do. Okay, rear sight is on 200. Okay, going center mass.
All right, you're good elevation. You're about an inch off the left edge.
Okay, let me shoot one more. I'll just go ahead and shoot a 3-round group there. Get a good idea.
All right, lower left quadrant.
So I need to go one right for sure, don't I?
And you're good on elevation, still on that left half of the target.
Okay. Alright, let's go to 200. Okay, here we go at 200. I'm going to leave the sight on 200.
Lower left quadrant.
Okay, low still. Alright, I'm going to pop the sight up to 3 and see what we get. And I'm still left, huh?
Still left.
Okay, here we go. Shot number 2.
All right, right. That looked like the right corner of the triangle.
All right.
That one went low right, but into the target.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna pop her. All right, I'm gonna pop her up to 4 because it looks. I don't want to mess with his front sight. I mean, it's close enough, but we'll go up to 3.
Are you going over to the 3?
Yep.
All right. Up on 3.
Okay, here we go.
Up on 3.
Okay, here we go.
You splashed into the dirt at the base. I think you're bouncing up into it. Because the splash is hitting before the target.
Let's see here.
Okay, that looked good elevation off left edge.
Okay. All right, let me put more
Had no call on that one. Let me had no call on that one. Let me reset.
Get a good trigger pull this time.
All right, you're about an inch above the triangle.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's me. Let me shoot one more at it. I hate to let that dude live at 300. Okay, here we go.
All right, you were just off the right side of the triangle.
Okay.
So, good hit. But you covered it in mud.
All right, I'm going to go to 4 with it on 5.
Okay, off right edge. Good elevation.
Okay.
All right, impact, belly.
Okay. Let's go with 5.
All right, up on 5.
Okay, I'm going to put the right side of my front sight down the left or the right side of the target.
All right, up on 5.
Okay, I'm going to put the right side of my front sight down the left or the right side of the target.
All right, impact. You're pretty darn good left to right. You're about an inch below the triangle.
Okay. All right, let me shoot one more at it.
Still good left to right, about an inch lower than the last one. So you're about halfway between the triangle and the bottom of the plate.
Okay. All right, let's go for 6. Okay, sights on 7. We'll do the same thing. Right side of sight to the right side of target. Ooh, John Brewer, I didn't even flinch. You're a much better person than me.
All right, you were high and right. Come down about a half a target and come right about, or left about a quarter of a target.
Uh-oh. One more. That was a sorry trigger pull.
Yeah, that was no call on that one. High and left.
Okay. Let's do 2 more. See if we can connect. So I probably need to do a bottom hole, don't I?
Yeah, you definitely need to come a good half target lower for sure. Impact. Not enough detail. Let me go over to my spotting scope.
Okay.
Lower right quadrant.
Okay. Now I'm aiming at the base.
No call on the camera.
Alright. Go ahead and stop it. I think the gun's capable of it. The shooter's not.
Well, pretty crude sights on that too.
Yeah, if it was bright daylight,
Yeah,
it would be quite a bit better. But I'm all right. I'm good with that.
For the age and as rare it is, I think it's shooting pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. And I'll probably shoot it this weekend. I still got 42 rounds left.
That's enough.
Yep, that ought to be enough to do it. Well, it wouldn't have been able to do it until we switched barrels. I know that. So you can't start at 1. You got to start at 2. Every one is 1 click over the. That's all right. Okay, Lacey Range viewers, bring your attention to the collection here. Of course, we got the Johnson 1941 that you just watched me take out to 600 yards. It did pretty good. Got the good old World War II, in fact, 1943 vintage M1 Garand. Got a 1942 vintage SVT 40, 1942 vintage AGA 42, and a 1944 vintage G43. So I wanted to pull all these in here and talk about the Johnson just a little bit. Now, the 1936 is when the Garand came out. All right, Johnson came out with his roughly about the same time period and progressed through it. Now, let me start this off up front. If you think, or anybody, I don't care if it's 1940 or 2024, thinks that the Johnson can compare to M1 Garand, you've probably been smoking something. Now, is it that bad of a rifle? No, it's not that bad. But to compare it to the M1, which out of these, this is the most successful one out of. Continued, well into the National Guard units had them up until the 70s. So it continued on. Johnson was just a blip in time. Now some good things did come out of the Johnson. Real good things with it. The rotating bolt would later make it to the M16, along with the direct impingement system from the AGA 42 or Lungeable. Okay. Tilting so it's got a locking recoil operated. The bolt, like an Auto 5, kicks back, releases. Also has a spring system going into the stock here. What we're familiar seeing it on the FAL. Full stock FAL does the same thing. Also on the AR-15 or M16 series. Boom, spring in the butt stock, continues going. M1 Garand, springs up here, rotating bolt, basically copied by the Kalashnikov and the AK-47, and nobody can doubt the successfulness of the AK series. All right, the Tokarev SVT 40. I would, if I had to rate it out of the World War II guns, this would be the number 2 out of the system. tilting block. Gas is adjustable, much like the FAL later on, right up here. Short stroke, and with a little bit of tweaking, I think the Russians could have made the SVT work. Uh, it worked fairly good as it is, but it really, really needed some refinement. Like with the M1 Garand, 1936, war started in 1941, so it had a few years to get everything tweaked up. It went through its teething pains also. Of course, 1938, and really about 39 before they started producing them with the SVT 38. So you see in the SVT 38 quickly go into the SVT 40 based on the results from the Russian invasion of Finland, and they quickly made a few changes, but then the Germans hit them, and that sort of finished it, and they really couldn't do nothing else with it. So they reverted back to producing Model 9130s out the butt, and finished the war with that, and a lot of sub guns. Okay, AGA 42 tilt and block, just like the SVT 40. Now it does have the direct impingement system. Gas comes straight back, captured by a cup on the bolt, and it works pretty good. They had a little trouble in the service with it. Having to lube the cartridges, and really that's because the powder was so slow burning. I run RL15 in it, and it hadn't missed a beat. And out of all of them, it's the most accurate. It is really accurate gun. All right, and then the G43, G41 series has flappers that come out and lock the bolt. A dead end, not used in anything anymore, or right after that. Seemed like Brazil made some guns that were based on it, but other than that, model 1954 or something like that. But sort of a dead end design. Once again, it could use continue with the refinement from the 41 to the 43. With the all the Stone Guerrero 44, it was probably going to be a dead end anyway. But back to Johnson. What I like about it. I do like the magazine. I do think it'd be very easily damaged in combat. Big open, big bubble right there. Probably couldn't take much of a hit. Two-piece stock. I don't know if I wouldn't have rather if it was me doing it. I took some kind of magazine and run it with that. But being recoil operated, I don't know. I had to I've shot a lot of rounds through this gun trying to get it to run. And here's something that you don't see: a free floating, or not free floating, but a Johnson barrel that's hanging out. And now what I did find was this barrel does not shoot worth a crap. I'm talking about 2-foot groups at 100 yards. Okay, and I don't think it's wore out or nothing. I think it just needs to be tweaked. And the guy that let me borrow the gun, he may want to do something with that. But this barrel here, fortunately has 2 of them. Once I got the spring replaced in here, then I got it working, cleaned it up, lubed it up, and with that barrel, it shoots decent. I think really accuracy wise, it's just a little bit behind the Garand, not enough to really make any big difference in it. Now I'll show you a little thing right now. Pop it up right here. My ammo that I load from my M1 Garands is running around 2,800 feet per second. Okay, with the Johnson, it was only running 2,500. So something is happening. A gas blow by. The bores eroded enough, but like I say, it shoots decent. So I sort of doubt that. and it doesn't keyhole or anything. So I think the bore is sized right, but something in that recoil action, something is causing it to lose almost 300 feet per second velocity. So I don't, we'll have to figure out what that is. But as you can see right here, one of the things that Johnson touted with the magazine was you could load it, and you can single load it in there and top it off. Otherwise, you'd have to use two stripper clips that would fit right in here, and you could load it just like you did your 1903s and get it going. But of course, out of these, just a side note, all right, especially with the Russian SVT-40. Of course, now they issued, I believe it was 3 magazines initially, and then they got away from that. But to stripper clip load this bad boy and think you can load it as fast as you can at M1 Garand, ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. In fact, any of them, you're not gonna load them out of the 5-round stripper clips as fast as you can load this one 8-round clip. In fact, I would tell you, somebody with a Garand that's proficient in it is probably going to get off 2 clips before you get back in the battle. But like I say, and another thing that you hear a whole lot about you can't top off the Garand. I call BS on that. If you need to reload this, pull that bolt back, hit the button, pop the unfull clip out, slide in your pocket, and throw another one right in it. It can be done quickly, and really quickly as you can get out of something else and fill this up. So why worry about trying to load it one at a time when you can just pop the clip out, let them hit the damn ground. Who's worried about it? You're in combat. Throw that fresh 8-round clip into it and get back into the battle. But okay, that's my gripe about that. As you can see, the length on the Johnson is pretty comparable to the Garand, and both Garand and the Johnson are shorter than their contemporaries right here. Of course, the G3 is right there at it, or G43 rather, right there at it. The sight on the Johnson, pretty cheaply built, but it works. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's got the ears up here, much like the Garand does, to cover the front sight. Bayonet lug. Of course, you had to have a different bayonet with the Johnson due to, if you go, when the barrel recoils, if the bayonet's too heavy, it slows down the recoil of the barrel. So it's got to be something light, unlike what you have with the Garand. Another thing about the Johnson, you see how I flipped that bolt up? That's how you unlock it and then come on back. Now when the bolt comes back, you see right there, if I just come straight back, it's nothing big. It's just something that you got to remember. You sort of got to come up and back. Grip angle, this little appendage right here, the rear of the receiver, to me was a little bothersome. Nothing I couldn't live with a little bit of training. Hey, you get used to it and you'll be on it. Trigger's not bad. The safety located right down here at the bottom, and it's just a flip switch. A little bit more inconvenient than the Garand, but nothing major. Not as easy as the Swedish AGA 42, which you can do with your thumb pretty quick. The Garand, you can push it open. There's a switch behind on the back on the SVT-40, pretty easy to operate. Now the G43 has this lever back here that you gotta flip back and forth, which is not quite as easy to do as the AGA 42. The ejection on the Johnson is adequate. whatever power bullet or load that you put in it is what you're going to get out of it. If it's a weak load, you're going to get weak ejection. It's just part of the recoil system. And if something's pretty hot, it's going to eject it with some zing to it. Trying to think of anything else. Once again, the comparison between the two of these or any of the other ones, I don't know. I really don't think I'd take a Johnson over the SVT40 at all. Just don't. AJ842 works well. Little odd balance, but other than that, G43 without a kid in it shoots itself apart. But if you wasn't expected to live that long, it probably didn't matter anyway. But sight on the Johnson is in meters. Firing 30-06 M2. Supposedly the Marines used them, and of course, as soon as they could get Garands, they went to the Garands. Now, the one thing I want to go in before we start showing you some details on it, the influence of this gun is really, really on Eugene Stoner is tremendous. Tremendous. I don't know what Stoner was doing or whatever, but I do know that him and Johnson collaborated, and the lugs on the bolt, straight AR-10, AR-15 copied off of it, definitely, and the collars. That's why I got this barrel out here. This is, for all us new guys that wasn't around in World War II, this is AR-15 right here. You got a barrel going into a collar that's that the barrel screwed into, and boom, bolt goes in there, rotates. That little small rotation that it does, it's locked, and just like the AR-15 barrel, if you've ever took one apart, it's got that collar on there. And as my buddy John Brewer knows, collars can fail and get you. But let me stop right here, and then I got Tracy in here, and we'll show some different stuff about it. Okay, let's talk about some particulars about the Johnson. Okay, get a close up right here. Signed out to 1,000 meters, click adjustable, and as you can see, for me, I'm way over here on the right with my particular load that I was running through there. As you can see, the port right here, 10-round magazine, so you can actually run this with 11 rounds if you needed to. But it slides right in there, and you just dumb it just like you would any of the 03s. And let me show you something else. You can single load. I'll show one like that, and then so you can get it to self-eject. But there we go. All right, you can push this down and it will empty the thing. All right, like I was talking about, to do the bolt, and you can sort of see the lugs right there, and there's the ejector. And as you can see, it just comes like this. Now watch this as I push the barrel back. This is what happens when it fires. See, it's got a ramp that kicks it up, and then the barrel bolt can continue going on back. And then of course the barrel has its own spring, so it sends it back forward. Then the bolt goes forward. Like I say, there's a spring. If you want to watch where one's taken apart, watch another video. I don't mess with doing that stuff too much. But you got a spring running right down through here. Oh, solid butt plate, similar to what the 1903 A3s used. Then we move up here for lightweight savings. The barrel casing is drilled through, bayonet, non-adjustable front sight. As you can see, the crown on this barrel is pretty good. And I should have got it. I didn't even think about it, but my buddy let me borrow this. Has a bayonet. Now, neither one of us know if it's the real deal or not. Slings, of course, they'd take any of the American slings used during World War II. You can see the screws holding different sections in. The safety, that's fire. Let's make sure that thing's. And let's see what the trigger pull is on this. All right, I got 6. Let's try it again. Good standard military. Just a little over 5.5 that time. So somewhere between 5.5 and 6. And ejector is right here, so you can replace the ejector pretty quick. All this screw here is for the lugs to keep the forearm from going forward when you fire. And we'll take the one round. Okay, we sit here and take a full round. It should pop the barrel release out. And wouldn't you know, it's not really doing it. But it did pop it out, but it's not swinging down. Okay, that loosened it up. Let's see if I can get her out without using any other tool. This is why you always carry a knife on you. This has not been giving me any trouble, but wouldn't you know why you got it on film, it would not work. There we go. All right, I knew. Let's back it off to this a little. This thing's gonna beat me up. Okay, barrel is loose. Pop the bolt on it, and the barrel comes right on out. That's the stop that holds the barrel in. Just lug, make sure it goes right back in the same place. And like I say, you can see how it is collared just like on AR-15. Slide her back in. Pull your bolt back. Get her lined up. Yeah. This thing's trying to beat me up today. Well, we got it in too far. What we got? Who said this was going to be easy? There we go. All right. Got to snake it in there. So, just a little side note, you can see it's marked for the M2 ammo right there. Dovetailed in right up here. Get a bottom view. And it is definitely, you don't want to take this apart out in the field. That's pretty easy. Take the barrel out, clean everything, and try to get that. You can see the leg right here. You can see that's what goes back into the butt stock right here. Now, one thing I have to say about the Johnson, if this would have been continued, um, and things had really got bad for us, you talking about a really easy design to make out of stamped steel or something like that, because really all this is doing is providing somewhere for that bolt to go and keeping it straight. That's it. Um, no strength, anything's needed. All the strength's in the collar for the locking. And one thing I want to talk about is, magazine, all kinds of dirt, easy to get in there. And also right here, it really needed a dust cover right there to keep dirt from getting, or sand getting in there. And because once it gets in there, it's got places to go, but once it gets into your trigger mechanism, you're probably toast. But I want to thank my buddy up in East Tennessee that let me borrow it. I've had it for since the summer, and but I did get it running. It wasn't running for him, so I got it running, got it fixed for him. I'll take it back to him, and hopefully he'll let us have some other guns and bring them back to see. And I thank Brian for doing the videoing. Don't give Brian a hard time. I showed some slow-mo where he called, said they wasn't hits or said they bounced or whatever. Hey, he's learning long range, and spotting is one of the harder things that you got to learn to do. But he's well on his way to getting there. And then thanking Tracy Lacey for filming this tonight. And with that, we'll end up. Look forward to seeing you soon. Get out and shoot. And please, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and like. Thank you.